The sterile white walls of the Chronotech Industries workshop hummed with a low, persistent thrum, a stark contrast to the cluttered brass and mahogany of Alistair's Victorian basement. He leaned heavily on Beatrice's arm, his breath shallow and ragged. The disorientation was more profound than he's ever experienced, a swirling vortex of nausea and bewilderment. "Remarkable," Beatrice murmured, her voice tight with apprehension. "The technological advancements, it's almost overwhelming." Alistair grunted, focusing on the gleaming consoles and holographic displays that surrounded them. "Commercialization. That's the word that stings the most. My work stripped of its purpose, repackaged as a commodity." He pointed a trembling finger at a large screen displaying a promotional video. A younger, impossibly clean-shaven man, with an uncanny resemblance to his younger self, smiled confidently. "Dr. Alistair Finch, visionary of temporal displacement." The younger Finch on the screen spoke with a practiced ease, extolling the virtues of Chronotech's chrono-leap technology, recreational jaunts through history for the affluent. Alistair felt a pang of bitter regret. He hadn't sought fame or fortune, he's only desired to understand the fabric of time. "He's appropriated everything," Alistair whispered, his voice choked with emotion. "The equations, the theoretical framework, even the design of the Chronarium itself." He looked at Beatrice, his eyes filled with a profound sadness. "My life's work twisted into a carnival ride." Beatrice's hand tightened on his arm. "It's not entirely your fault, Doctor. Technology progresses. Sometimes discoveries adapted. This is theft, Beatrice. A blatant disregard for the sanctity of scientific inquiry." He waved a hand dismissively at the holographic display. To think Thomas would have been so horrified. The memory of his son, lost in a laboratory accident years ago, cast a long shadow over his despair. Suddenly, a synthesized voice announced, "Unauthorized presence detected. Lockdown sequence initiated." Red lights pulsed across the walls, and the large automated doors slid shut with a resounding clang. "Security protocols," Beatrice observed grimly. "They're classifying us as intruders." Alistair's gaze fell upon the sheet of aged parchment he's retrieved from the Chronarium's containment unit. He's kept it secreted within his coat, dismissing it initially as insignificant debris. Now, the faded symbols seemed to pulse with a strange luminescence. "The message," he murmured, his voice gaining a new urgency. "Perhaps it holds a clue. Something beyond mere scientific data." Beatrice carefully extracted the parchment, her nimble fingers tracing the archaic glyphs. "These aren't any language I recognize. It's unsettlingly ancient, older than anything I'm familiar with." She held it closer to a holographic projector, attempting to enhance the fading ink. "The first symbol," Beatrice announced, a flicker of both excitement and trepidation in her eyes, "corresponds to a corrupted, almost something resembling an astral loom." The partial translation yield. She paused, her voice hushed. "Asterisk loom unravels asterisk." Before she could decipher further, the workshop doors hissed open, and two figures in pristine white uniforms strode in, their faces impassive. "Dr. Alistair Finch and Miss Beatrice Holloway," one of the figures stated, his voice devoid of emotion. "You are in violation of Chronotech Industries Protocol 17 Beta. Prepare for retrieval." Alistair's eyes widened. "Retrieval? They're not simply going to imprison us." "They have no intention of allowing this deviation," Beatrice stated, her hand instinctively moving towards a concealed device within her pocket. "They see us as a disruption to their carefully constructed narrative." The second figure raised a handheld device. "Temporal inhibitors will be administered shortly." Alistair gripped Beatrice's arm. "The loom unravels," he repeated, his voice laced with an unsettling premonition. "Beatrice, whatever happens, ensure the message reaches someone who understands." The temporal inhibitors emitted a wave of shimmering energy, and darkness began to consume Alistair's vision. The last thing he heard before oblivion claimed him was Beatrice's desperate cry, "Doctor, we need to find the others, the ones who understand what the unraveling truly means." The loom threads stretched thin, the cosmic tapestry fraying at the edges. In a forgotten corner of the temporal archives, a lone archivist, Elias Thorne, felt a tremor in the fabric of time itself. A fragmented image flickered across his monitor, a fleeting glimpse of an archaic symbol, identical to one found etched within a pre-Diluvian artifact. Thorne shuddered. The loom was unraveling, and he knew, with chilling certainty, that the consequences would be catastrophic.